بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. I praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thank Him for His endless bounty that He has bestowed upon us, the grace of all that He has guided us toward Islam and make us from the Ummah and the followers of the best of mankind, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is a great favor from Allah indeed. You have to keep in mind that all of the favors of Allah are good, but this is the greatest of all, to be upon Islam, to be guided to a Tawheed, to be upon the correct path, the path that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen for His servants, the path that every single prophet and a messenger called to, the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not to associate with Him any partners. This is a great ni'mah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us to be a part of this great program that was held by our brothers in the Islamic Center of Palm Beach. And the reality is, we know them from years. Alhamdulillah, their efforts, their humble efforts, their modesty, and they stick to the manhaj of as-salaf, and they refer back to the students of knowledge and to the people of knowledge in everything they do, and the path that they follow in giving da'wah and calling the people to the deen of Allah. So this is not the first seminar they have organized, but actually this is just another opportunity for all of us to come here and to learn. And we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we thank them. But the Prophet ﷺ says, he does not thank Allah, the one who doesn't thank the people, so we thank all of them for their efforts, because we know the like of this seminar don't just come like that. There are efforts, organizations, sacrifices have to be made. May Allah reward them for that. Likewise, we thank all of you that come from far, from near. We know, me personally, I've seen people coming from far. Some people have to drive for hours, some for up to 10 hours. But may Allah reward you for that. Remember that the ulama of as-salaf, they used to travel for thousands of miles, yet they didn't have the means that Allah has given us in our time. They didn't have cars, they didn't have buses or trains or planes, and most of them, they traveled on foot. Yes, on foot. They encountered many hardships, but we were, alhamdulillah, look at us. We come to a nice place, a beautiful, clean masjid, equipped with air conditioning, with the light, running water, hot water, and more than that, we have chairs, comfortable chairs for those who want to sit on chairs, and food is available, beverages, refreshments, and the best of that, smiles on their faces. Even though they're tired, they were working for who knows, I just say weeks, but maybe more than that, but still, they look fresh. We just got here, we look exhausted, more exhausted than them, and they meet us with smiles and do you need anything, and if anything, please contact us, suggestions, corrections. Alhamdulillah, this is the way a seminar should be. And we've seen the brotherhood displayed, alhamdulillah, the people who came. We've seen the love, alhamdulillah, displayed among the people with the beautiful smiles and the like. Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. And may Allah reward all those brothers and sisters, because the sisters, even though they are not in the front page, yes, but they are to be credited too with this. Because even those who do not participate physically in this seminar, but they support their husbands. You know? Now they don't see him until late at night. Don't see him all day. They have to change their plans. And may Allah reward them for their patience and for what they've done for organizing the life of this seminar. Again, we thank all of you for attending, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who have benefited from this seminar, because now we're coming to the end of it. Just like that, as we said, right? Now, okay, but what have we gained so far? Now we're going to go back, every one of us is going to go, some already has left. They're on their ways, may Allah bring them safe, or get them safe to their families and to wherever they're going. So what have we benefited? It's very important. We should highlight the importance of this event, especially this one that talks about the stance of Islam against those who claim that whatever they do from crimes and hostilities and horrific and horrendous crimes, they do it in the name of Islam, in the name of Allah, in the name of God, in the name of jihad. And we should know with certainty that their actions do not represent Islam. But Islam is free from all what they do. And we've learned and we heard our brother Abu Khadija, Hafidahullah, Jazahullah Khairan, our brother from al-Maktab al-Salafiyya, Salafi publications, better than Salafi Pops, Salafi publications, okay, in Birmingham, United Kingdom, in Europe, Jazahullah Khairan, for his lectures, 3 days in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Jazahullah Khair, even though the time is late, where they ask for the difference of the hours and the light and the time, but still, Jazahullah Khairan, and may Allah put that on the scale of his good deeds. I mean, he aligned us. Me personally, I took notes. As you see, these are notes that I took so far, but I didn't take everything. But alhamdulillah, I benefited greatly from those talks. And I'm going to take these notes with me to the community where I'm at. I'm going to share with my family. I'm going to share with the community. This is how we do things. Get something nice and go and share it with others so they can know as well. Okay? So, and also our brother today, Abu Ayyad, Amjad, Hafidahullah, subhanAllah, his talk is so nice, concise to the point, that unveiled the mask, the fake mask of ISIS. They have a mask on called Islam. Okay? And because whatever they do it in the name of Allah, Allahu Akbar, jihad, this, but in reality when you compare their actions to the message of the Prophet ﷺ, you will find, subhanAllah, as the brother he mentioned it himself, when he gave example of the kindness and the mercy of the Prophet ﷺ. This is the man who, subhanAllah, since day one, when he began to call the people to that which is good for them. And remember, the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't go to another country and began to call some foreigner people, never seen them, they don't know who he is. But rather he's calling the people that they know him for 40 years. They know his good manners. He's the best of them in manners, in lineage. They know how nice and kind and gentle and generous and merciful and honest. Still, many of them refuse the truth and refuse that which guarantee for them joy, happiness, stability, and in this life, and yet the greatest reward on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Not only did they say, look man, do your things, but we don't want it. No, they waged war against him. They harmed him. They killed some of his followers, tortured others, many others, even called him names. a liar, a magician, a sorcerer, a madman, crazy this. They know that none of that applies on him. Because he's not a foreign man that just came from another planet. They know him. He grew around them. That's how he grew up. And then it resulted that he was even expelled. And they waged war against him. With all of that, the Prophet ﷺ showed mercy when he met any one of them. And the Prophet mentioned many examples that highlight the mercy of the Prophet ﷺ. He was harmed for years. They plotted to kill him. They tried physically. They rallied the tribes against him. But still, Prophet ﷺ is merciful, is nice, kind. So where ISIS? What are they? Is ISIS who they claim they do it for Islam? Or the Boko Haram, or the Shabab in Somalia and Kenya, or the Nusra, or the Taliban, or the al-Qaeda, or the Shia, Hizb al-Shaytan, that they call themselves Hizbullah, but that's Hizb al-Shaytan in Lebanon, the Hizb of Iran, the Shia. Where are they from the Sunnah of the Prophet? Where are they from the benevolence, the mercy, the kindness, the tolerance, the forbearance of the Prophet of mercy, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam? So you can see the difference between the kindness, the mercy, the benevolence, the forbearance and the forgiveness of the best man, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the best of mankind, to those horrific, horrendous acts of terrorism and those crimes perpetrated by ISIS and the like. So ISIS is an ideology. It's not just a name. It's an ideology of the Khawarij that have been alive and been around 1400 years ago now. So we need to know this ideology of the Khawarij. Yes, they use propaganda, they got skills now in the media and this, but they will be defeated. This is the reality, because the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that whenever they appear, Allah will destroy them. That's a certainty. This is certainty. But we want to know, we as Muslims, the correct stand of Islam against them, against the Khawarij in general, whether they are named ISIS, Boko Haram, Shabab, this, that, all of these renegades and rebellions. This is the stand of Islam. They do not represent the correct Islam. Their actions do not speak for Islam, nor represent Islam, nor represent the Quran, nor represent the Prophet of mercy, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We need to know that. We need to circulate this information amongst the Muslims. Those that they become an easy prey and a victim due to ignorance. وَالْجَهْلُ دَاءٌ قَاتِلُ. Indeed, ignorance is a fatal disease. People, they go and support these crimes, support this ideology in the name of Islam. It is not from Islam. I advise that those of you who have notes, take notes, share them. But it's better now we have the means of technology. Alhamdulillah, take CDs. I'm sure the brother they have, inshallah ta'ala, have recorded these talks. Take CDs with you. Or if it's not a CDs, there is different means that they're going to be on the internet or on websites. Spread them so that the Muslims first, they should know the reality of ISIS and al-Qaeda and Taliban. Not anyone who say Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. What about the action? What about the beheading? What about the burning alive? What about killing of innocent people? Men, women, children, elderly, Muslims, non-Muslims who don't deserve to die. Text in the Quran and the Sunnah that prohibits such horrendous, horrific acts. Now just because somebody says Allahu Akbar, we say, oh, he says Allahu Akbar, must be right. No. It's the action itself condoned or condemned by Islam? Which one? Choose which terminology, which term applies. These are actions that are condemned by Islam. Islam doesn't condone such things. Islam and the teachings of this beautiful religion of Islam is not in agreement with these actions of these criminals, but rather refute them and warn against them. Likewise, we want our youth, especially because these guys, they target the youth. We hear, 3 from here, they run away. 6 from there, they run away. 7 is missing. Then later on, they see in Syria. How they get there? He kind of snatched them from their bedrooms. But they don't know the reality of these people. Somebody gave them the poison in a food, but they were tempted by the icing. Now you're going to know, tell them, look, don't let the icing of that rotten cake fool you. Leave it alone. Likewise, we don't let the propaganda and all they do in the name of Islam and all of that fool us. Because what they do is not Islam. It's not from Islam. It's not from the teaching of the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is not what the companions that were upon. And we have to listen to the scholars, our noble scholars. Because what you hear us trying to do today is to relate to you the verdicts of Islam in the light of the statements of the scholars of Islam. And the people of the scholars of Islam, as you hear, we quote, and the brothers they quote, throughout the history. Since 1400 years ago, the Sahaba refuted the Khawarij. Then the Tabi'een, Atba' Tabi'een, the great Imams, until this time of ours, still our noble scholars. All of them, may Allah preserve them. Those who are still alive, may Allah have mercy on those who died. And every single one of them refute these crimes of the Khawarij. So let us know this first, and let us, ya Ikhwan, also make it known to the non-Muslims as well. That yes, those people, they claim they're Muslim, they say Allahu Akbar, they say La ilaha illallah, their flag says La ilaha illallah, they do it in jihad, they do it for the name of Islam, for this. No, we tell them, wait a minute. Those are just slogans. Those are fake slogans. This is propaganda. These people, they do not represent Islam. And give them this example. If you cannot talk, let a CD talk for you. Like we say, alhamdulillah, may Allah reward the brothers. In here in ICPB, they have pamphlets. They still have couple. You see, especially this one of ISIS. Get couple, give them out. Give them out to the people, put them in the hands. So they can see for themselves, so they can learn from themselves upon knowledge that what these people are doing, the Khawarij, it is not from Islam. And it will never be from Islam. Doesn't matter how they try to put the name and mix the name of Islam with it, but it's not. So once again, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect the Muslims from the evil of these people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put an end and destroy their plots. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us to see very soon the promise, His promise. Because the Prophet ﷺ says, whenever a group of them appears, Allah destroys it. We believe in that. But we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we can see it very soon. So that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroy them. So that the people don't have to worry about that. Likewise, those amongst us who have any means with the media, with any printing companies and the like, use that to put this information out there to the media, to the schools, to any means that you may have. So you have a website, you have a nice Twitter that many people follow you. Do this. Put this CD, put this information out there so that the people can see the truth. So that inshallah your neighbors, they're not Muslim, but they come to you and say, you know what? I know now. These people, these are bad Muslims. They're not all Muslims are like that. And that's true, and that's what we want. This reality to go out there. Once again, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward our brothers here at the ICPB and the sisters for their efforts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the speakers as well, who they've done a good job, Jazakumullah khairan, for providing us with very, very beneficial information. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who they listen to the speech, they follow the best of it. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam wa tasliman kathira.
Jazakallah khair, may Allah reward you as well, Abu Muhammad. To continue with the Q&A session, the question I asked after saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh: if these Khawarij, and may Allah protect us, reach and try to attack Saudi Arabia, what is the solution upon legislation and word of the scholars and the rulers? Barakallahu feekum.
They are trying, as we heard before, they're planning. That's their main goal, to get to the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Allah protect it, and all of the lands of the Muslims from the evil. But alhamdulillah, Saudi Arabia, as we know, it's a government that is established upon Tawheed, upon the sound Aqidah. They have respect for the ulama. They don't need my advice or my suggestions, and I am not even in a position to give anyone. They have the scholars of Islam with them, alhamdulillah, and they will do, I'm sure, inshallah, they will do what's the right thing, because they have the people of knowledge with them. The rulers over there, before they do anything, they seek the mashura and the advice of the people of knowledge. Now,
there's a question from one of our guests. I believe it's from one of our guests. They ask, how late can it be to become a Muslim? Is there an age limit? And also, what are the steps to taking or making the Shahada?
First of all, there is no age limit to be a Muslim. Anybody, whenever, mashallah, they're ready to be Muslim, they can be Muslim. Doesn't matter. Alhamdulillah, there is no age limit. If you know someone who's interested in Islam, like Islam, we be happy, alhamdulillah, to assist them, to show them the beauty of the deen of Allah, to provide them with the material that assists them, alhamdulillah, to know more about the Tawheed, the Islamic monotheism, about Allah, His beautiful names and attributes and the like. As for the steps to be Muslim, there is no steps whatsoever. It's to be a witness. If you're ready and you know that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is His messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's all you need to do. There's no steps. You don't have to go somewhere or swim somewhere or eat some special food or wait for some occasion. No. You just have to say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness that no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Now,
the question I asked: there are some mothers that are new to Salafiyya, that they still listen to Anwar al-Awlaki with the excuses of listening to his lectures as seerah and avoiding his talks that promote terrorism. How do you respond to them?
Al-Awlaki is not the only one who spoke about the seerah. There are ulama that spoke about the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, scholars. There are books written about the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. There are, alhamdulillah, classes given by trustworthy students of knowledge that gave these classes in the seerah. So leave Anwar al-Awlaki alone. This was a Khariji. is dangerous. Don't get yourself in trouble as related to, because the way of Ahlul Bidah, they use topics like their seerah, but they put in between their poison. Alright? So we advise these people to leave this man. He's a dangerous man, and his ideology, even though he's killed, but his ideology is still wrong. The ideology that he ascribed himself to. So this may even get you in trouble with the authorities. But most primarily, this is have a danger on your manhaj, on the way of your thinking. Okay, so we advise you that you leave this man alone and all of his work. And alhamdulillah, we have enough. A lot of material from the scholars of Islam, from the students, the well-known students of knowledge, and the callers who are called to the manhaj al-salaf. Inshallah, limit yourself to that and you will see a lot of good, inshallah. Now.
The person also, there's another question that's in line with this question, and they're saying, what is your recommendation then? And what's to be done with the books of Sayyid Qutb and Anwar al-Awlaki that might be found in the libraries of newly converted Muslims?
Yes, if somebody, for example, who just became a Muslim, somebody give them books, because sometimes people do that. The people that may became a Muslim in some masajid of al-Ikhwan al-Muslimun, alright? And then they give them books as a gift of al-Mawdudi, CDs of al-Awlaki, a book, a Dil al-Quran of Sayyid Qutb and the like. Then once they know the truth, they need to dispose of this and get rid of these books. Don't give them as a gift to somebody else. Burn them. Destroy them and burn them. You know, because they are books of dalal, of misguidance, and they're dangerous. Likewise, if a Muslim, mashallah, was born in a Muslim country and he was affected by these ideologies of the Ikhwan Muslimun and Sayyid Qutb and the like, and then Allah opened their hearts to the truth, to be upon the way of the Sahaba, because Sayyid Qutb cannot be on something better than what the Sahaba were upon. That's impossible. So if Allah guide them to the manhaj al-salaf, then they should get rid of anything in that library, any evil. Same way. If you have a bad apples in a basket of good apples, what do? Just keep it there. Now you get rid of it. You take it out. The same way. You look at your library, likewise in the masajid of Ahlul Sunnah. You don't just be careful, because sometimes people of innovation, they come in Jumu'ah and put a book right there. No, you're going to look, if you're the imam of the masjid, you're in charge of a masjid, and you have a library, you constantly go and look in that library, between the books. Because Ahlul Bidah, they come and what they do? They put a book right there. And then now you have to choose, to check, and you find these books, get them out of the shelves, and destroy them. Now.
Someone's asking, can you explain the Trinity?
The Trinity, in brief, but alhamdulillah, it's the belief of the Christians. I don't have much knowledge of it, I'm not qualified to talk about it, but inshallah we'll say briefly that it is the belief of the Christians and those who follow them on that they believe in the God, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, right? Mm-hmm. That there is three entities, like there is the God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and they all coexist together. And if one of them is not there, the other one is not there, and all of that, Allah musta'an, 3 is 1, and 2 is 1, and 3 is 1, and 2 I don't know. How can it be 3 is 1? All this complication, all this confusion, ambiguities. Sometimes God is the Father, and God is the Son, and God is the Mother, and the Mother is God, and God is the Father, and the Father is the Son. All these ambiguities and confusions, Islam tell you, look man, God has no son and has no mother, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's what the Trinity is, and it's not, it's wrong. It's wrong. Alhamdulillah, I wish I could provide you with the details, but I have to speak with knowledge, and they will say no. Now, when I say to them, I don't know, I don't know.
There's a pamphlet that's a message to the Christians. I'll find it on the brother side and the sister side.
Alright, there is a pamphlet. Okay, there is a pamphlet that we have here that explains that. Our brother Sharif said that explains that. I'll try to get something, inshallah ta'ala, from Jazakallah.
Someone is saying, and their question here, that they heard that ISIS were dressed as a woman. Is this true? And why do they dress as women and in many battle zones?
This is the first time I'm hearing this, but Allahu A'lam. If someone is not adhering to the deen of Allah correctly, they're not adhering to the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, and therefore they follow desires and they want to achieve certain goals, I'm not surprised if they do whatever they want to do to get there. But we as a Muslim, alhamdulillah, if wants to be upon the right path, the means has to be legislated as well. We don't just come up with means to get somewhere. La. This is the way of Ahlul Bidah, the people of innovation, Maylid Ikhwan, Mublisun, Muslimun, they call them. That's what they do. They're like, look, as long as we get to that goal, all means are permissible. No. The means has to be permissible also. We don't transgress the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For instance, you won't go steal and rob a bank to feed a family of poor people. Okay? There is no Robin Hood in Islam. Okay? You just don't. So we don't steal from somebody to give charity. You give what you can. Stealing is haram in Islam. Okay? So you give what you can to the best of your means. If you can give $1 million, give $1 million. If you cannot give $1 million, don't go and steal one. Give $1, give $10, what you can, as an example. As for what they do, we're not surprised because these people, they do not adhere to the guidelines of Islam. They come up with their own ways, as long as they think these means will lead them to achieve their plans. Now, Allah knows best.
What's their plans?
After this, we have questions.
No,
nothing.
No, it's just my question is: you said their plans. What's their plans? What's ISIS plans? What are they looking for?
The ISIS plans is authority, to reach authority.
To reach authority.
Authority, to govern, to be in front, and also wealth. Well, this ideology is the ideology of the Khawarij.
Where they get it from? I mean, where they come up with this idea, how to create it?
From their predecessors. The Khawarij, this ideology, this is not something that is invented these days by ISIS. No, they inherited it from their forefathers that goes way back to that first man who opposes the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Dhul Khuwaysira. See, Dhul Khuwaysira, he's the first person who went against the verdict of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he distributed the booty amongst the people, and that man wasn't given, and he said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "I'dil ya Muhammad, be just, O Muhammad." Let me finish, inshallah. So he said to him, "Be just, O Muhammad." And then after that, you find the Khawarij, who they went against Uthman. Always, they target the rulers. Uthman, he's not just. Uthman, he's giving the money to his family, to his friends. He's giving positions of leadership only to his families. They kill Uthman. And they kill Ali radiallahu anhu. And from those days until now, when you read their history, you will find that they always target the rulers. They want to get rid of the rulers and get their places. And of course, with that, they want the dunya and the wealth. Whereas the proper way of Islam is that if the ulama of Islam, anyone who wants good for the people, he has to teach them to Tawheed. Teach them the proper deen of Allah. You will not find the ayats that tells us, look, if the ruler is no good, stop teaching Tawheed and Salat and go against him. These are no ayats. Rather, we have texts that says, do not go against that ruler. We have ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ that prohibit that. Be patient, even if the ruler take your wealth and beat you back. Muslim ruler, you don't go against him. And you don't incite the people or entice them to go against him because it brings a lot of evil. Now you're going to get the people out there to face a government, because this ruler now has a government has an army under his leadership. Now small people, they just want to pray Jumu'ah and go out in the streets, face tanks, and armies of men who that's all they do and that's what they train to do. No one in his right mind to do that. But it's not even permissible in the deen of Islam. Now,
can you expound on the narration about the dogs of the hellfire? Bad tidings for the one who kills them as it relates to the Khawarij of our times.
This is what the Prophet ﷺ has said about them, and we believe that this is a reality. Because the Prophet ﷺ does not speak out of his desires. So it is not for us to come up with our own names by calling the people this or that, but if we have texts that the Prophet ﷺ calls certain people certain names and named them in a certain way, we believe in that. Alhamdulillah. Now.
Alright, another question. Is it acceptable for a non-Muslim to enter the prayer room, or must she have a hijab on before she enters? What about her clothing attire? How should she dress?
The ulama, they mentioned, alhamdulillah, that the masajid of Allah have sanctity and hurma, and they have to be treated as this. And the masjid is not open for anybody to come in any way dressed in anything or perform any activities. But however, the ulama also, they mentioned in the light of what took place in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, is that if there is a valid reason, there is a benefit, a non-Muslim can attend the masjid, can attend the class, for example. Remember the brother he just mentioned, and Abu Khaliza mentioned it also, the story of Thumama ibn Uthal, the king of Yamama, when he was captured and he was an enemy to Islam then and to the Prophet ﷺ, and he even killed some of the Muslims who the Prophet ﷺ sent to him to call him to Islam. But still, when he was captured, the Prophet ﷺ didn't kill him. You see, the Prophet ﷺ didn't kill him, didn't torture him, but rather he kept him in the masjid, and he ordered that he should be treated fairly, not tortured, not harmed, but rather to be fed, given food and drink. And after a couple of days, the Prophet ﷺ was very nice to him, and he asked him certain questions. Then the Prophet ﷺ let him, he freed him. And subhanAllah, that man was amazed because the Prophet kept him in a masjid. There was an opportunity that he sees the actions of the Muslims. Who are these people he hates so much? Now, alhamdulillah, now look at these people. They worship Allah, they kind, they gentle, they nice towards each other. They merciful towards one another. They humble. They listen to this, to this man. If the Prophet ﷺ said this man to be fed, they fed him. This man not to be harmed, nobody put a hand on him. So the Prophet ﷺ became the most beloved person to him, as we mentioned. So the ulama, they mentioned, yes, if there is a need for a non-Muslim to come, if you know somebody, for example, who wants to know about Islam, you bring them to attend the class and the like and stuff. But yes, it's better to talk to them about the etiquettes of coming to the masjid. For instance, they should, especially men and women these days, they have to say, they come in a modest way. Now, if, for example, a sister, she want to bring her sister, her mother, her daughter to the masjid with her to see the masjid, to see how the women, they care about one another, and love one another and respect one another, and they want to listen to her talk, she will dress modestly. We're not saying she got to listen. The only way you're going to make sure you get on a khimar, niqab, gloves. No. But she dressed properly, modestly, loose clothing. Likewise, if you want to bring a non-Muslim in here, so you're not going to bring a Muslim with chains, with the what do you call it, the cross on, or he's going to come with the pictures on, or he's going to come with his dog, because these people don't know. All right, you tell them, look, this is what we do. He's not going to come with his, I don't know, smoke or whatever. You tell them, but subhanAllah, it's amazing. Those people, they're the one who when they want to come, Sharif can tell you. People been calling, right, Sharif, and calling other brothers, they're the one, non-Muslim, they're the one, they say, what do you want us to wear? How do you want us to behave in your mosque? You see? They're the one that asked that question. So, okay, we want to come, but how you want us? Is there any etiquette you want us to wear? Anything you want us to know that we don't supposed to do while we're there? No.
The question that asks, is it considered backbiting if you tell someone do not take knowledge from so-and-so, or is that a part of our duty as Muslims to warn others as long as we have the proof of his mistakes or shortcomings?
Very good question. No, actually the ulama, they mentioned that it's not backbiting from refuting the people of desires and innovation and the people who are upon the wrong path, but rather it's considered one of the good deeds, the most important deeds. Because these people are corrupting the people, taking them away from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, taking them away from the path, because the path of Allah is one. Can you imagine now if someone is cheating the Muslims in a market? Someone has a restaurant. The restaurants look nice from outside, beautiful outside, beautiful chairs. Oh, the menu is beautiful how they do all this. But this man is cheating the Muslims. He sells bad meat, dog meat, dead meat, cows. He don't care. And you know that. What would you do? Or would you just say, now go in there? And then somebody else says, let's warn the people. I'm not going to backbite him. Would you do that? Of course you won't. You will warn the Muslims. Why? Because if they keep eating there, they eat in the haram and they may get sick and this. What about the bid'ah? Bid'ah destroy your deen, your religion. Rather, the ulama, they said, is an obligation for someone who knows the mubtadi'ah. But jazakumullah khairan in the question, because there was very nice details, as long as you know. So don't just go and falsely begin to accuse people, bid'ah. No. If you know for sure, and as for the laymen amongst us, we just report what we see to the people of knowledge. And once the people of knowledge, who they know and Allah raise them level, they warn against certain person, then inshallah ta'ala we leave them alone. And that's not backbiting. Likewise, the students of knowledge, the callers to Allah, who they have basics, alhamdulillah, yes, they can see certain things, they report to the people of knowledge, Sheikh, we have this Sofi that says this and this, Ikhwani said this, Khariji promoting the ideas of ideologies of the Khawarij, warn against him. That's why we're warning against these people that you mentioned. We mentioned many names, and we're not afraid of mentioning names. It's okay, this is our manhaj. And it is done before, and it will be continue to be done, inshallah, we're doing for the sake of Allah, to preserve the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ and the deen of Allah, and to protect the Muslims from the evil of the people of innovation. Now, that's not backbiting, that's actually it's a good thing.
What is the ruling of celebrating a sweet 16 birthday?
Doesn't matter, sweet 16, sweet 17, sweet 18, sweet 21, doesn't matter. Or this sweet 16 is something.
Yeah, it's a tradition.
Is this sweet 17 too?
No, 15.
I don't know this one.
Yeah.
Sweet 15 too?
For the Spanish culture, it's 15 for the...
What is that, when they be 16 years old?
It's a birthday.
In American culture, when they turn 16, yeah, they have a special...
So when they turn 16, is it special?
Yeah.
Tell me like what? That's because you open some doors for them? Because I don't know. This is the first time I hear this.
Maybe someone else can explain it better, but I just know that they take this as like a milestone, in their getting
maybe
older.
because when they're 16 they open the door for them to be more liberate and independent or something like that.
Yes, there's
Huh?
considered becoming a woman.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, what is the ruling on celebrating a sweet 16 birthday?
Yeah.
Muslims, we don't. We Muslims, we don't celebrate any birthday, sweet or bitter, or 16 or 20, doesn't matter. Right or wrong? We don't celebrate birthdays because why? Because we abide by his deen, because we know the best guidance is the guidance of who? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As a human being, anyone in his right mind, he always look for the best, right? Huh? When it comes to food, you want to look for the best what? Food. That's why when you find a restaurant that sells better food, forget about the other 21 that you used to be going for. Gone. History. You're not going to go there because you find the best spot. Right or wrong? Likewise, you're a merchant. And you used to go get your merchandise for a price, but then you find another spot. Better quality, better prices. What do you do now? Stick to it. Abandon. Now you're a fisherman. You used to go to this place and fish. Right? We say. Now, you find a better spot. What would you do? You leave that spot to somebody that is less than it? No one in his right mind do that. Likewise, we have the best guidance, the guidance of who? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's learn to do what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did and what he left alone, and we follow it. So we don't celebrate birthdays. Some people, they say, oh yeah, you're against fun. What, you're going to have fun only on birthdays? You're going to wait until you're 16 to have fun? Why can't you have fun when you're 10? You have fun. Read the Quran. The real fun. That bring joy to your heart. Not a party that turns like half in jail, I don't know where, half in emergencies, people, I don't know, backbiting. A party that you have to worry about for the rest of your life. You see how it is? وَخَيْرُ الْهَدِي هَدِيُ مُحَمَّدٍ صلى الله عليه وسلم. The best of guidance is guidance of Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. Nah, we Muslims will live in America, but we don't have to do whatever what Americans do. Yeah, we stop in the red light, they stop in the red light. It's okay. We have to do that. This is something that, yes, we do. We don't say, oh, Americans stop at a red light. We're not. We cannot run through. You gotta get a ticket. And you subject yourself to danger and subject others to danger, and that's haram in our deen, because the Prophet says, La darara wa la dirar. Don't receive harm and don't cause harm. So we don't celebrate any birthday as well, even including the birthday of the Prophet himself is not permissible for us to celebrate. If you turn 16, that should tell you that even you have more responsibilities. Your responsibility is getting even greater. Okay? But still, if the girls, our teenage girls, they want to get together, yes, they can get together, as long as you want to make sure, as a parent, you want to make sure that your daughters, you're going to get with the right people. In your house, for example, or the house of a family that you trust, they can get together and have some activities. They can, I don't know, sit down, draw something, learn something, read something, eat together. Alhamdulillah, that's all good. Now,
the question I asked, explain who is Yusuf Estes. I have heard he has influenced several people to become Muslim.
This man, he doesn't even have to be like we explain and talk about him. Allah Musta'an, subhanAllah. A man like this now, he became the center and a lot of youth, and especially, why? Because of ignorance of the basics of the deen. Yusuf Estes, ya Ikhwan, this is something that also you don't want to listen to. He is not upon the manhaj of as-salaf. Rather, he openly speaks against the manhaj of as-salaf and speaks against the ulama of the salaf. So how are you going to listen to such a person? If you hear now Estes in a clip talking bad about your father, you think you're going to listen to him? Or you want to hurt him? We're not telling you go hurt Yusuf Estes. Just say, sit back. Leave him alone. He talks bad about the ulama of Islam. I'm going to wait until he says something bad about my father. Now I'm going to be hyped up. No. This man, he has problems in the minhaj, in the aqidah. And alhamdulillah, our brother Musa Richardson, he refuted him. And you can find it in his web page, Becca.net, or maybe you can find it on Troy or something. Now, you find the refutation of our brothers, there is many refutation. Me personally, I warned them in many of my talks against him. Alhamdulillah, my brothers do the same thing. But Musa Richardson, alhamdulillah, he went in details by bringing some of his statements from YouTube, and he tell you why he said is wrong, and it's like a montage. Can we say montage?
Montage, yes.
That's a French word, but they say it's like a montage.
Definitely.
Tell you his clip, what he says, he refuted is very good. I advise you to, if you can get a hand of that. I try my best, like try Becca.net, it may be there, and also try Troy, maybe it be there, or Salafi talk, inshallah. Now.
There's a question I asked. I go to a Muslim school that is predominantly Palestinian Muslims. A lot of them practice boycotting places like Starbucks and Nestle and the like. They boycott these companies because they think that those companies, because they think that those companies help the Jews. What is the ruling of boycotting, and is it permissible?
This question has been around for a while in our time, and the ulama, alhamdulillah, all the Mashayikh, Sheikh bin Baz, Sheikh Razaymin, others, Sheikh Fawzan, alhamdulillah, they have answers to these questions. It is not permissible for individuals to begin to call the Muslims to boycott certain commodities or certain products and tell them because they support here or there. Now, especially in the Muslim lands, the ulama they mentioned that's for the ruler. The ruler, that's his role to boycott. If the ruler see a benefit, he will say no Pepsi in our land, no Coke, no Starbucks. Okay, he can't say that. No Mercedes cars. Alright? Anything comes from Germany, for example, we don't want it. Okay? But it's not for individuals. If individuals have information, all they have to do is to submit it to the people in charge. That's all they do. That's all you have to do. Submit it to the people in charge. So as for us, we have to be careful, ya Ikhwan, because there is a lot of rumors that are spread on the internet and this, so we have to be careful. We wait and see what the ulama of Islam said about these things. If you don't want to drink Starbucks, don't drink it. Especially it's expensive. But don't try to put a label, they support this. Okay? So, fil asal, you don't just follow rumors. So that's what we say to you, don't follow rumors. If you have alhamdulillah, reports from Ahlul Ilm, from the people in charge who they know and have the authority, and they say, yes, this is something, we do that. But as for rumors, kids that every day they're going to bring you something. Every day they're going to come to you, oh, this is not right, or this is not, no, we don't listen to them now.
Since it is upon the Muslims to show obedience to the ruler who the people of authority choose, or one who takes authority by force, then how should they deal with the Khawarij or the Khawarij who take the land by force or power?
Alhamdulillah, this is the asal. This deen is based on usul and principles. And if a ruler is chosen to be a ruler, alhamdulillah, he's a ruler. Or if someone has some strength and he overpowered the people and he became the ruler, so he's the ruler. He's a Muslim, he's the ruler. So no one has to go against him or anything like that, or incite the people to go against him. Why? Because we have texts in the Quran and the Sunnah. And those same texts, they tell us if somebody, there is established ruler, and somebody else wants to go against him, then the ruler will deploy his army to fight this person. Now, to fight this Khawarij. So the Prophet ﷺ, he tells us about the Khawarij that you fight them and kill them, and the one who killed them, he has a great reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the one who was killed by them, he has a great reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, and that the ruler, and the Prophet ﷺ also, he says, if a person comes to you and wants to go against the ruler while all your kalima is one against one ruler, kill him, kill the other one. Doesn't matter who he is. Now, so it's very important for us, Ikhwan. Why? Because the ulama of Islam, from Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah and others, Shaykh ibn Baz, rahimahullah, he says, look, being patient upon the harm of that ruler is much, much better than going against him, because if you go against him, you bring a greater harm. And I subhanAllah, sometimes you hear this ahadith and statement of the ulama and it doesn't click. But it clicked with those people who they really went through hardship. People in Egypt. Some people, they were always, we used to know certain people in Libya talking about the Qaddafi this. Qaddafi was a tyrant, was a criminal, was a bad person. Na'am. There's a man, a'udhu billah, that some of the ulama, they said he's a kafir. Okay? Because of his statement, because of his aqidah, his corrupt aqidah and the like. But going against him, look what happened. Chaos, Libya is still fighting until now. I remember one Libyan brother, he used to always, he didn't understand much. The layman guy, and Qaddafi this. So when Qaddafi died, this man made hijrah from America. He said, he's going to Libya now, alhamdulillah, Qaddafi is gone, and if he's going to Libya, it's going to be good now since Qaddafi is gone. A couple months later, he came back. He's like, he came back and told me, look, man, we used to have one Qaddafi, now we have like 100 of them. That's what he said to me. He said, it seems like there's 100 of them now. Because when the people, they don't do it for the sake of Allah, they don't do it according to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, Allah exposed their plots. Even though in the beginning, they want to do it for the sake of Allah, for the sake of Allah. But then once they get to a certain point, they start fighting each other for the power. And it's happened throughout the time. No.
Some imams during Jumu'ah, they... Yeah? Well, here, but maybe we have some... Some imams during Jumu'ah prayers, when they finish the khutbah, they ask people to stay seated while they make community announcements. After the announcements, they start salah. I heard this is not something the Prophet ﷺ did, nor the Sahaba did. Is it acceptable or is it considered bid'ah?
Likewise, we say, وَخَيْرُ الْهَدِي هَدِي مُحَمَّدٍ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. The Prophet ﷺ is the example for us. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. Indeed, you have been the messenger of Allah, the best example in every field of our deen. The Imam of the Masjid, if he wants to be a good Imam and get great rewards from Allah, he needs to learn how the Prophet ﷺ used to be Imam. In Salat, how the Prophet ﷺ used to lead the Salat, if he make it long, short, or he used to recite, what the Prophet ﷺ used to do after he made taslim, how the Iqamah is called, how the Adhan, did the Prophet ﷺ make dua before the Adhan and Iqamah, all of these things. Likewise in Jumu'ah, the Khatib who is going to give a khutbah, for instance, he needs to learn, because the Prophet ﷺ, he gave sermons. So you need to learn that Khatib, how the Prophet ﷺ gave his khutbah. Did the Prophet, of course the Prophet ﷺ had a lot of things to say, the Sahaba, they have concerns. But how the Prophet ﷺ did it, we do it the same way. As for this, usually this is from the Masajid of al-Ikhwan Muslimun, and the Masajid of the Sofiya, and those people who are ignorant of the deen and they don't apply the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Because they come up with their own understanding. They say, look, because they say, for instance, Look, if you delay this, what do they call them? Announcements, until after Salat, nobody stay and listen to them. Easy? They say now we have to do these announcements before the Salat. So people are forced to hear this announcement. Do you come there to hear announcements or to pray? So these people, they need to advise this Imam to them, Ya Akhi, Jazakumullah khair, announcement, yes, they may be good. But what is better for us to adhere to the Sunnah? Nice way. That's the Sunni Salafi, he wants good. The Prophet ﷺ was kind and nice. We don't just rush to Mubtadi' Fasiq. No. Yes, tell them, look, write a nice letter to that Imam or that Masjid. Tell him, Jazakallah khair, I understand, we hear the land of Kufr. Announcements, they may benefit people, but Jazakallah khairan for your health diligence that you want to make these announcements as awareness, as long as the announcements are good announcements, okay, and are permissible. However, it is not from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to delay the people and force the people. I give you an example. Shaykh al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah, they asked him, they said, Ya Shaykh, in Ramadan in our masjid, and this is happening in many masajid, especially the masajid of al-Ikhwan al-Muslimun, in Taraweeh. What they do, Ikhwan Muslimun? They pray 4 rak'ats and do what? A lecture followed by another fundraiser. Yes, they do it. Somebody give a lecture for half an hour and a fundraiser for another hour, hour and a half. People waiting for what? Waiting for the 5th rak'at of the Taraweeh. Sunday even, like people, they pray 4 and they leave. Now what they do? Did this fundraising, when they do it? After Isha, before even Tarawih. They finish Isha, usually finish Isha, make dhikr, make 2 rak'at of the Sunnah, and then stand up for Tarawih. Now they want to do a lecture. And they said, now, Sheikh Uthaymeen, he says, they have no right to oblige the people to listen to them, because the people, they didn't come for a lecture. People came to pray Isha and Taraweeh and go. That's why Shaykh is talking about a lecture, not even fundraising. Lecture. The Shaykh said, I will advise, if any Imam wants to give a lecture or a dars, even though he has good intention, because he says, look, a lot of Muslims come in Ramadan, which is true, and I want to take advantage of that and give them a lecture of Tawheed tonight, tomorrow Tahara, tomorrow Birr al-Walidain, tomorrow the rights of spouses, treat your children kindly, tomorrow, the next day, warning against the ideologies of the Khawarij and Bid'ah and this, which is a beautiful thing or not? Shaykh said, still, don't take advantage of the people. Some people, they didn't come there to listen. They didn't come there to pray. He said, at that time, the Imam, once the Taraweeh is finished, Taraweeh now is finished, then he says, Ikhwan, we're going to give a talk, alhamdulillah, on Tawheed and Aqidah. If somebody wants to stay, stay. Now, those who don't want to stay, they can leave. But you cannot, hold the people hostage. You have to listen to me now. I got you. Taraweeh, talk first. Yeah. So, same thing we say, alhamdulillah. The Prophet ﷺ, when he used to finish his khutbah, they used to call the iqamah. The ulama, they said, it is a very, very important incident to something. Yes, you can do that. The Imam can do that. Before he starts, he may say something that is important. But as for the Imam says, and some guy get up and talk for 20 minutes, another khutbah, these are from the things that certain people come up, ideas, and they don't say, hold on, wait a minute. The Prophet ﷺ did this, or no, that's the most important, that's the etiquette we have to remember. Now.
My question was in reference to the company of your children, both male and female. At what age is it recommended that the visits of, let's say for example you have a boy and a girl, that the visits of their friends stop in the house, specifically if let's say for example the husband is not home, or the wife is not home and it's the husband that's home, vice versa. You're still going to have kids that that are not home. Let's say for example my son's 15 years old. He brings his friend, or 13 years old, he brings his friend over. But I have 2 daughters. brings them to the house, they're playing video games. At what age can
Very
you
good
say,
question.
hey, listen, this can't happen?
The brother has a very excellent question. He says, for instance, at the light of allowing, for example, our children to spend some quality time with their friends, Muslim friends, alhamdulillah, who are upon the same minhaj and aqidah and the like, which is a good thing, because we cannot deprive our children from any friends. No friends. It's okay, they have friends. SubhanAllah, we parents would tell them, no friends, but we go hang with friends. Right or wrong? We have friends to go and hang with. Let us be tolerant, but let us be vigilant as well. And serious, okay? So, yes, but you're right. If you have, for example, the brother he says, Hafidahullah, if his son, 13 or 15, wants to have his friend 13 or 15 over, but he has daughters too, 14, 12. No, you have to make sure there is no mingling between the boys and the girls. Okay? So it's better to do it in a way like, for example, I tell you what I do. I got teenagers, okay? For example, if my daughters, they want to have some of their friends, me and Muhammad, we just leave. We go to the masjid, alhamdulillah, take him somewhere and until they leave. And usually we'll tell them, okay, you can come from Dhuhr until Maghrib and leave. With Dhuhr, Maghrib, we're not at home anywhere. We're out there, alhamdulillah. I tell them, look, and we don't come back. Okay, that's the best way. So, we don't just bring the boys and the girls and they mix in now because they forget, they're teenagers, they want to go to get some, because in his house, he just want to go get a drink from the fridge. Now he's going to go and before you know, didn't knock at the door, you don't know, he forget. We need to protect our children from these things. Okay? Jazakallah khair.
Actually, this is a comment, mashallah, the sisters. They said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The sisters would like to thank the speakers for sharing their information and answering the questions. Thanks also to all the brothers and administration of ICPB for putting this together. And I reward all of you and give us tawfiq. Ameen, jazakallah khair. If there's any, there are some questions. Okay,
they said, is it blameworthy for a sister to stop wearing the niqab because of ISIS? So to take off the niqab, stop wearing it because of the things going on with ISIS. Is it blameworthy?
Is it blameworthy for women that wears the niqab to stop wearing it because of ISIS? No.
I think what they mean is because of the backlash.
Afraid that the people in the streets and stuff.
Yeah.
If a woman wears the niqab, the khimar, they do it for the sake of Allah, and they do not take their khimars because of that. But they take precautions. Yes, in Islam. Okay, be careful. Don't go places by yourself. Okay, so stay home more of the time. Alhamdulillah. And if she wants to go somewhere, she go with her father, with her husband, if she's married, with her older brother or two, okay? To warm up, to her so on. Yeah, there is wicked people who don't understand this, listen to the news, Fox News, this, that, and they think all Muslims are radicalist Muslims, extremist Muslims, all of them are ISIS, all of them are Khawarij, all of them, they're going to do something, all of them, they're going to blow up something. What you gonna do? Because there's all these people here in the news and this and YouTube, because some wicked Muslims are doing those things, actually. But the woman does not. Likewise, the man does not cut his beard because Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has a beard. Just because Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi or those who they are in ISIS, they have beards and thought we're going to go and shave our beards, we're not going to do that. And we gonna. Because there is a command from the Messenger of Allah ﷺ. It's not sunnah like certain people think. If you grow it is okay, if not, it's okay. No, it's not, it's haram. And likewise the khimar. A woman, she's ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to dress in a proper code. So these are time of trials. We Muslims, and we're supposed to practice Islam in the right way in times of ease and times of difficulty. Now, we don't just be good Muslims in times of ease. No, in times of difficulty, we still maintain the same standards of Islam. But like I said, but be vigilant. Don't just go and provoke people. Like the women who wear the khimar, the proper hijab, the niqab, they should, if they are in the area where they heard that the people are in there, they kind of like really into the news, and they kind of like hate Muslims, and they emitted and uttered some bad slogans or whatever, or critics against the Muslims. You have to do what you're going to do. You have to be safe, inshallah. No.
That's it. That's only from if there's any questions from the floor.
We have a question from a brother here. He wants to know how can you give advice to non-Muslims to recognize the true Islam or Salafiyya, and for the women who are not convinced about the hijab.
The brother, he has two questions in one attempt. He says, what advice you give to the brothers who they want to relay the message to non-Muslims about the Khawarij and this, and also about the women to dress up properly. Like I said, it could be done in two ways. If a person have knowledge himself in this matter and have wisdom, patience, alhamdulillah, and experience talking to others, then inshallah he can do that. But if he don't, let a CD speak for himself, let a pamphlet like those, okay? Take some pamphlets with you. Like I said, they will speak for yourself, because alhamdulillah they have statements from the ulama that based on the adillah. Because see, when you write something that is already written, mashallah, these people they write because they take their time. You see? Take their time. Like for example, this answer I'm giving you, I'm giving it to you right now, whatever I remember. But if I write it for you, it's going to be a much more detailed answer, because I'm going to give you adillah that I have to search, fatawa of the ulama that I have searched. But right now we're human, I can't. I don't have, I'm not a computer, and I'm going to and I am not Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, I'm going to just start getting you all the adillah. Barakallahu feek. Likewise, this is how you do it, through the books of Sunnah, their CDs, their work, inshallah. Now,
my school, I go to an Islamic school, and they have two Jummahs, because we recently put up a hall. So they have the community Jummah in the hall, and the school Jummah in the older masjid they had before. What does Islam have to say about that?
Is the school in the masjid or no?
The school is doing the Jummah inside the masjid.
Is the school in the masjid?
Yeah. No, the school
is next to the masjid?
Around. The school is around masjid.
Okay. What do you mean around?
It's like the school is an Islamic school that has a masjid inside the school.
Okay. So there is a masjid and the school is in the same one entity.
Which school is it?
Nur Islam.
So you know Nur Islam.
So what they do? They do one Jumu'ah only for the students?
We put up a new hall, so they have the community Jummahs inside of the hall, and then the school has a separate Jummah inside the masjid.
In the same time, or?
Yeah, same time.
First of all, the brother is asking, he says in his school, Islamic school, where he attends, there is a masjid. But what they do now, the students, they have their own Jumu'ah somewhere. Okay? But the community that live around the area, right? They come and have Jumu'ah by themselves. In a hall. In a hallway or a hall or something. First of all, the ulama, he says that the Jumu'ah is supposed to be one Jumu'ah. Even in the same area where there is different masajid. Okay? They suppose the right thing to do is that those masajid, those Muslims, they're supposed to have one Jumu'ah. I give you an example, like in Muslim countries, like Saudi for example. They have, if you go, those who went to Saudi, you know that, especially Medina and Mecca, you will see many masajid right around. Masjid here, masjid here. Every 3-4 blocks there is a masjid, small. For those people in those blocks to pray, Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, so they don't have, like us, we have to drive 20 minutes, 15. No, they have masajid, many of them. But in every big area, they have one big masjid for Jumu'ah. So you find like there is 10 small masjids, all of them, those 10 masjids, one of them gives Jumu'ah, that's it. The 9 ones, they're not allowed to give Jumu'ah, but they open for the salawat. So that's the proper way. You know, as for getting Jumu'ah, only for the students, Jumu'ah for the community, they have to have one Jumu'ah, inshallah. The ulama also, they mention, if there is, for example, a masjid somewhere, and it is not enough, there is a lot of Muslims and they could not expand the masjid, the authority in there, they don't allow them to pray outside, they said under those circumstances they may have another Jumu'ah. But now they're just doing it like that, so it's better for somebody to look at this and talk to the people in charge. It's very important. We don't start just talking about it between us and bring a lot of chaos. No, somebody who will write a letter to the people in charge, or somebody, alhamdulillah, who have some knowledge of this, he will go to the person in charge of that school and try to find out, first of all, why they doing it that way. They may have a reason, who knows? You know what I'm saying? But if they don't have valid reason, then he will advise them nicely. He said, no, it's better to have Jumu'ah, especially for the students, to be with the community and the like and stuff. Okay? No.
Another Muslim is asking, can you clarify or can you explain why the hijab for a woman?
He says, a non-Muslim asking, and can you clarify why women wear the hijab? This may take a lecture, but alhamdulillah we have many statements of the ulama. They explain the light of the ayats, and them explaining the ayats of hijab in the Quran. But there is a principle in Islam. First instance, we adhere to the commands of Allah, and we adhere to them willingly, out of love, because these are commands from Allah, the Almighty, the Merciful, who wants good for us, and He commands us only with that which is good for us in this life, and there is a great reward. Okay, so that's why the Muslim women wear the hijab, and these are the ones that are going to get great reward by wearing the hijab in this way, willingly, because who ordered the hijab? Allah. If they know Allah as they should, they will do it with love. Why? Because there is a great reward. I'm sure the same person who was asking about the hijab, if somebody come to her and tell her, look, I give you $500 a day. All you have to do is to go to work with the hijab. What's she going to do? She's going to quit her job. $500 a day. So now why this woman was asking about the hijab, she's willing to wear the hijab? Who knows? Benefit. There is a reward in it. Huh? There is a reward. Likewise, there is a greater reward for the Muslim women because she's obeying her Lord. She's doing an action that is legislated to her by the one who created her and fashioned her in the best form, and the one who ordered her only with that which is good for her. That's the main answer. And then beside the point that hijab has so many benefits for that woman because it protects her from the evil out there, and that's true. It protects her. The woman, she's precious in Islam. And we as a people, what do we do with the precious things we have? We protect them, we cover them. You have jewelry, where do you put it? So does somebody come to your house and find them right there on the kitchen table? Huh? Covering is good. In reality, like now as we mentioned that, now we just give other explanation. Covering is good or bad? Man, you don't buy a lollipop that doesn't have a cover. Do you? If a lollipop missing a cover, the wrapper, what do? You pick that one? Or the one that still have the wrapper on? Huh? Alright, you make an order. A chicken sandwich, halal, alhamdulillah, nice. And then here's the delivery guy, yes, he bring you that chicken sandwich with what you order, lettuce, tomatoes, and mustard. Okay? But then here is, what is the problem? He's bringing it to you in his hand with no wrapper, with nothing. Here's your sandwich. What are you going to say? That's not a sandwich. No, it is what you ordered. The chicken, the lettuce, the tomatoes, and the barbecue. Or master, which one? Master. So why are you not going to accept it? Yahya, why?
Because it's you're gonna think it's dirty.
Somebody answer the question. Why? Why you don't accept it, Akhi Yusuf?
Because it's not appropriate. It's not what you expect. It's not what you expect.
It's not what? Covered. It's specific. It's not covered. You're going to like, oh, why? It's not covered. Why? It's touched. This and that. Alright? تفضل يا أخي. الدين الله يحفظك. جزاكم الله خيرا. بارك الله فيكم. وصلى الله وسلم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Somebody else?
Any questions?
Some of the Khawarij, they say that the Sahaba and some of the Tabi'een rebelled against the rulers. How do we respond to that?
The brother, he says, some of the Khawarij, they say that some of the Sahaba rebelled against the rulers. What do we say to them? قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Say, bring the proofs. Who are these companions? Give us the names. Who are these companions who rebel against the rulers? Hasha or Kalla. There is no companions whatsoever who rebel against any ruler. That's all a lie. But I can give you a bonus and benefit if you allow me. For instance, they say that, I give you an example, 2 examples. And this is Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi, I heard him refuting this false claims. They say that Al-Hussein, the son of who? Of Ali and Fatima, radiallahu anhum. And there, who's his grandfather? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said that Hussein, he rebelled against who? Yazid ibn Muawiyah. See, that's a misconception. They say, look, you're talking about this, nobody, no companion. Here is Yazid. Yazid, he was going to fight and rebel against Yazid. He wants to take the ruling from Yazid, and that's a lie. Anyone who say that, they need to prove it, and they can't. That's a lie. Hasha. For the companions to go against the Sunnah of the Prophet, not allowing any companions. The grandson of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's not what Yazid, Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi said. This is a misconception that is spread around, that Yazid, that Al-Hussein, radiallahu anh, he went to fight Yazid and take the power from him and this and that because he is the companion and better than Yazid. Yes, he's better than Yazid, no doubt. But he didn't do that. Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi says rather he went out searching for the killers of his father. And then an army, he said, that was not sent. Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi said this. Habibullah said, an army, they intercepted him without the order of Yazid himself. And he told them, this is what I'm doing. They said, no, you're going nowhere. Then he says, okay, let me go to Yazid then and talk to him. I gave bay'ah to Yazid. They're like, no way. And then when he see that they are trying to fight him, he defend himself and his family, and he was killed. Another example the Shaykh said also, the example that the people they use, the Khawarij or other than them, of al-Zubayr, or Abdullah ibn Zubayr. They said that Abdullah ibn Zubayr also, he went against the ruler in his time. He didn't go against the ruler. When Yazid died, you see, when Yazid ibn Muawiyah died, Yazid has only one son, and this is from the statement of Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi as well. And it's on YouTube, you can find it. Alhamdulillah, that's what I listened to it myself. So they said yes, that Abdullah ibn Zubayr, he went against Yazid ibn Muawiyah, and that's not true. He has a bay'ah for him, but the Shaykh says that Yazid, he has one son, and that son died in the life of his father. So when Yazid died, he didn't have nobody to take over. So at that time, he was no ruler. It's not like in the time of Yazid, they already know, look, when I die, my son is this, and they take the bay'ah. No, there was no ruler. So the people, they choose Abdullah ibn Zubayr, and he is worthy to be the ruler of the Muslims. So this one, he didn't go against any ruler. He was no ruler with the death of Yazid. These are misconceptions. It's good to bring the light of this misconception. Alhamdulillah, if me personally, I know the answer from the ulama, I share with you. If I don't, then we can, alhamdulillah, homework for myself first, inshallah ta'ala. Now.
Concerning the issue of Islam, say for example, a Muslim comes to pray.
Of what? Sorry? Isbah. No.
A Muslim, he comes and he wants to pray, for example. When he's aware of he wasn't aware of the ruling until it was addressed to him. Like in your case, in the situation, you addressed it. So in his case, his pants are not above his ankles. So what does he do? Because I've seen some people, they either roll it up, or they leave it, or they stuff it in their socks.
Socks, yeah.
So
the Prophet he says in the case of Isbal, Isbal is haram for men. And what is Isbal? It is not permissible for men and not women. For the men to let their pants or izar or garment go below their ankles. And this is by the text in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And we should take it seriously, not lightly, not say, well, what's the deal of it? No, we Muslims. You pray Asr 4 rak'at, why? Because the Prophet ﷺ said, that's the Sunnah. The same way the Islam. The same way you wear your garment and your izar. Don't say, well, I don't know what you're talking about, that's too much. Well, Asr praying 4 rak'at is too much too. The same way you pray Asr 4 rak'at, because that's the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. The way you dress, the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, however, some people, they may not know, because like I told you, we don't know everything, and we don't claim we know everything. And may Allah send to my way the one who teach me my shortcomings and help me and aid me to understand my religion better. And that's what we do when we see things, we address these matters. So if a person can, for example, he don't know the ruling, alhamdulillah, he has learned. And we hope that, and we ask Allah actually to make us from those who, when they listen to the truth, they accept it. Don't just deny it. No, accept it. Keep in mind, if sometimes I may hear something, or you may hear something that, I don't know. Go investigate it. Go search it. It's okay. I mean, it's okay if you hear something that is new to you. Like, come on, talking about pants now. Go search it. See if what I'm saying now is true or not. If it's true, do it. If it's not correct, me say, brother, you said this, it's not from the Sunnah. However, he said, no, the point is, he said, but certain people, alhamdulillah, when they hear, now they're like, well, I didn't know what I do. Can they tuck it up? Can they put it in their socks? They do what easy for them to do. If they can take it to Sinister and Hamid, alhamdulillah, Takit, alhamdulillah. They fear Allah to the best of their abilities, but that shows that their person Allah was good for them. Why? Because they are from those who say Allah said about them, Sami'na wa ata'na. We hear and we obey. Not like we hear and like, I don't know what you're talking about. No, what I'm talking about. Like I said, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go make sure what I'm talking about. Go research it, inshallah. May Allah guide us to be from those people who they adhere to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Jazakumullah khair once again. Wa barakallahu fikum. It was a pleasure being amongst you here. It's always a pleasure, alhamdulillah, to be with these beautiful faces. May Allah reward you. I gotta tell you, alhamdulillah, the community is increasing. That's beautiful. And may Allah allow you to increase, not just in number, but in the Sunnah, in understanding, in taqwa, in obedience. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring love amongst you and amongst the Muslims in general. May Allah strengthen your ranks and the ranks of the Muslims. May Allah protect our youth. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who adhere to His deen. Those who are sincere. We ask Allah to grant us beneficial knowledge that is coupled with righteous actions. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.